You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalogue. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 12th of May 2024.
Welcome to Celtic Ligers.
Are the levels working?
Yeah, they're pretty reasonable.
Okay. Welcome to Celtic Ligers, recorded in person, late at night.
Yeah, it's called Ligers After Dark.
Yeah.
And that means that it's...
Ligers after bedtime.
Yeah. That means that it's more sleepy than ever.
Yeah.
I was more sleepy. Yeah.
Hmm?
I was going to do long S to suggest I was being sexual.
Okay.
But actually it's sleepy because James's parents are upstairs. And
Yeah.
I don't want them hearing anything that I say.
Yeah.
All my topics are on my phone, which is out of battery.
Okay.
But one thing I do remember is we have the event that we went to that we should talk about.
Yes.
And then we also have Eurovision, which I think is worth talking about some bits of that as well.
Let's talk about Eurovision first.
Or we could talk about just lead up to Eurovision by talking about something else.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let me introduce the topic of conversation.
Alright, go for it.
Do you... It's harder than it looks.
Is it the environment? We're surrounded by pictures of James as a baby.
Yeah.
The environment is sapping his energy.
Oh, yeah.
He's
well,
thinking
we saw
about
Paul Murphy today.
his innocence.
We don't necessarily need to think about what he said, but
All right.
just we saw him.
We did see him.
How did that?
And
Felt
he's
very
wearing
awkward.
shorts.
What?
And he's wearing shorts and sandals.
Yeah. I felt very awkward around him. I was really. I was very. There's a real moment of like, I thought he was going to look at me and be like, "You, like, why did you say those things?"
Yeah, he doesn't know, and I'm sure if he did know that, I think he'd be fine with it.
Yeah, we should take bets. So when we do meet him, and we do describe the podcast to him and all the horrible things we said, we can see. You think he'll be fine?
Well, Bridget said that he actually would be grand with it. So
did you say he listened to the podcast?
no, she didn't. She said he'd be open to coming on and all that.
The podcast, yeah. Did she say to him, "Yeah, they once I'm
Say
talking
that
about
you're
your
like
big head and wet
weird
eyes."
looking baby man, yeah. Hey, and then he'd be taking shots at us, and he'd be like, Gareth, your dimples kind of detract from your beauty slightly, and I'll be like, oh, we're all roasting each other on this one, yeah. Do I have dimples? I don't even know what dimples are. I just was trying to think of something that is like, that was the bit. The bit was to give myself a compliment.
The bit was to be funny.
And I failed, yeah.
Yeah. Be funny if he was like, we describe everything he says, and then he goes to you, "What's the weather like up there?"
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Threw off. The interview is over.
Thought the left was about solidarity.
Yeah.
About tearing people apart.
Yeah.
There's something else I wanted to say. About... Oh, yeah, then we met Gary Gannon.
Yeah.
All the celebs are
I did not... I actually did have a reaction to meeting him that I didn't expect to have, because I thought...
I'm not trying to make... There was a real air of hostility.
Yeah, I really didn't anticipate it from him. Once I saw him, I started to get angry. He really... because there's only like two things that he's done which just stick out in my mind, and I don't like.
First of all, he has red hair.
Actually, there's three things that he's done now. Because it is relevant to bring up that...
Redhead people have no souls.
We talked about this already, but do you remember that poster that he had that had like the vector image of his beard? and it was like, vote for Gaza.
Vote for Beard.
Well, he's not. He probably wouldn't go play Gaza.
What?
But he was trying. It was trying to be like, you know him from his beard and walking around the place. And I was like, fuck, I hate that kind of just. It just feels like I just think of somebody in a room trying to come up with the perfect social media strategy. Do you know?
I also think they keep trying to reinvent the political poster.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, they've perfected. It's like the women are airbrushed out of existence, and the men
just look fucking weird. They just have like
strange looking.
Like you shared
they
something.
They sort of look like it was like the picture was taken through a telescope or something.
Yeah.
Like,
but he said, is the funny thing, he posted something the other day, and it was a serious post, and it was, here are all the people who voted against sanctions for Israel or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And then one of the pictures was our pal, what's his name, Colin
like
Burke.
It was like, it's like, why are those puppets made out of leather? Like, or you know those ones? There's like a meme, and it's like all the different troll faces.
Mm.
You know, the troll meme?
Yes,
Please
I do. I know. Hey, hand me back your internet card if you don't know what the troll meme is.
I remember when I was in college, in like, this shows how old I am.
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
I
thought you were saying you were 20 years old.
What?
This is how old I am. 23.
Yeah. There were these two girls sitting across the in an eating area.
Yeah.
I was listening very intently. Everyone shut up, I'm trying to listen.
Yeah.
And one of them goes, what's your favourite meme?
Yeah.
And I don't think younger people realise how crazy that question was back then.
Yeah.
Like, to say what was your favourite meme, it's a bit like saying, like, what snot do you prefer to eat? You know?
You were taking a gamble that somebody thinks this is aligned with you on that.
Like, I would have pretended not to know what that question meant.
Like a lot of people, like, back then as well, 10 years ago, there would have been like, you could actually conceivably have somebody going, what's a meme?
Like, I remember there was a guy making a presentation, and, you know, it was, I'm not going to get into the details of it.
Okay.
But there was a phrase that was like, how do you define p-value or something? Like a statistical thing. But anyway, your man from Lord of the Rings, saying, one does not simply define a thing. And the room, like, cracked. People were like, oh my. Like, it was shocking, you know?
Yeah.
It was like the first guy who got, why don't I write a rap about it? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your favorite meme? And then the other one just went, the troll face. I like the troll face. Like, me too, sister.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
What's your favorite meme?
Probably troll face.
What's my favorite meme?
Or do you mean old school meme?
I mean, Imgur, whatever the name of the site is.
Here's a more interesting question.
Yeah.
What's your earliest meme that you remember?
Probably
What's your internet power level?
I think one does not simply walk into Mordor is probably the first.
That can't be it.
Okay, fine. I don't know, like...
The earliest one I remember, it was the Badger song.
Oh, you're going like that. I thought you were talking
I'm
about like a template.
going old school, brother.
Well, then my favorite first one would probably be... sorry, I just had this idea to go. There was like Charlie Brooker had this show about video games, and he like did top 5 most influential video games of all time. And then once he gets to the top,
I know
number one, he goes like Twitter.
Yeah,
because it's a game. But I was like, hey, my favorite one, the Was Up ad. Like, that's a meme. It's like, but that can't be a meme because it's an advert. No, you don't understand. See, a meme, and then I'd break down Webster's dictionary defines meme as.
I also hate when people do that thing where they're like, the first rap song's from 1920 because this guy did this thing. It's like, No, that's not what anyone means.
Turning around my chair. You know that Shakespeare was like the Tarantino of his day.
Yeah.
You know?
So what was your first meme?
In that way, fuck. Oh, actually, there
like
is
internet meme is what I mean.
Like a template or what?
What?
Like, you know the way the fucking bad luck Greg or whatever it's called.
Bad luck, Brian.
Yeah. So is it like that? Is that what?
No,
you
I just mean like to preclude you from saying like there was a bad.
Okay, right. Internet meme.
Trying to think of other early ones. There was the one that was like, "This is the end of the world." It was like a flash animation about nuclear bombs. Do you remember that one?
Yeah. What about the Ultimate Showdown? That's another one.
What was that?
It's like all the characters in the world crossing over in the ultimate showdown, ultimate destiny. Good guys, bad guys, and explosions.
No, don't remember that one.
It's a song. It's on Newgrounds as well as an animated one because they were like popular for that type of stuff. The one that I was gonna say is there was a video that we watched and we thought it was so fucking funny. Is the
Dancing Baby.
Oh my god!
I still love it.
No, the one where I don't know if it was like a widespread thing, but it's like a guy and he's like writing, and then they have like the fake, you know, the paperclip that used to appear.
Yeah.
So they have like they mocked up their own model of the paperclip, and it's a guy and he's writing a letter, and he's writing on his fucking laptop.
Suicide note.
And it just goes, "Say, it looks like you're writing a letter. Fuck off. Say, it looks like you're writing a letter. Fuck off. Say, it looks like I'm not writing a fucking letter. You stupid paperclip."
Yes. That was extremely of its time.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a real genre. It was like it would be like a rage comic where like Justin Bieber gets his hair cut off.
Yeah.
You know, just like destroying some like universally annoying thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ones because I used to like save these pictures and I don't know why. I was like opening them up for later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I used to love
showing your parents, printing them off, showing your parents.
Like the piece of toast that had the Virgin Mary in it.
Yeah.
That was one that I was really into back then.
For some reason those ones like have a real, they feel so like they have like the same feeling as like an old dirty fleece. I don't know why. Like, you know when you see like a really old man and he has like a dirty fleece and there's like grease around the collar and stuff. I get the same feeling looking at that fleece as I do the meme that's like the fat guy eating the giant hamburger. It's just like I feel unclean. Like I need to wash my hands.
Like it feels dirty, and it does feel of that era as well, where there's kind of a mean bullying component to it somehow.
Yeah, I don't mean in that way. I just mean like it just feels like
blunt, like
because the image itself is so shitty, and like, I don't know.
There was I used to host a radio show when I was a teenager.
Meme FM.
But it wouldn't be a million miles off of that where you go, did you hear about what's happening in America where they're calling it the Cappuccino Coast because you know the the silly items off of MSN News, and you try to talk about them and then you're just like, there's nothing to them, it doesn't mean anything, and also most of the time they're not even real, they don't even
Yeah, it's funny you look back at those now and it's like the font is different. Like it's like the worst Photoshop in the world. Yeah, actually let me see. Someone sent me one of that era. What?
The other thing I hate about Gary Gannon, okay?
Okay.
We're going to go back to this, but just because I've forgotten that he loves the cops, so I don't like that. He's always going on about we need more cops on our street and shit like this. And then the other thing was O'Devany Gardens, which everybody hates him for. To this day, which is crazy. 2019 he did that. People are still going on about it. And I am, because it was terrible. Hello, you can tell by the bad audio quality that this is me talking on my phone. But I just realized that maybe people don't know about O'Devany Gardens. But the long and short of it is O'Devany Gardens was a bunch of social homes that were knocked and to be developed. And at one point in 2016, Workers' Party councillor Ailish Ryan proposed a motion that it be 100% public homes on public land, and it was agreed to. It was passed. But then Minister for Housing at the time, Simon Coveney didn't like it. So he basically approached the councillors, not Ailish Ryan, and after talks with them, another motion was put forward by Sinn Féin, which was basically the exact opposite. And then that was agreed upon, even though it was very close to the previous vote, and most of the people who approved of the previous vote ended up also approving of this one, which was entirely different. It's decided that there will be 580 homes under a 30-20-50 mix, which means, it is right, 30% social housing, 20% affordable to buy, and 50% private residential. At the time, this is now quoting directly from the journal, Sinn Féin's Dahi Doolan said that 30% social housing for the 14-acre site was a solid outcome under a Fine Gael minister. This is him talking about the motion he proposed, incidentally. So, way to dream big. So had that plan, they're ready to go. And now back to the journal here. This is in 2019. By the time a new Dublin City Council sat this September, altering the political makeup of the council and bringing a cast of new councillors who hadn't voted for the original plan in 2016, the landscape had shifted. A number of councillors said they'd vote against the O'Devany plan ahead of a meeting on 7th of October. Oh my God. Objections were continually raised around the affordable price tags for the homes. Some councillors said any private homes at O'Devany was a poor use of state land. In early October, once it had become clear that the deal would be rejected at the meeting, councillors agreed to delay a vote on whether or not to proceed with the DCC Bartra-led development at O'Devany Gardens. So Bartra Capital is the developer they decided to go with as well, incidentally. To allow for discussions, the Housing Minister, Owen Murphy. Writing to councillors, Murphy said funding for the O'Devany redevelopment could be reconsidered if councillors rejected the plan on the table, and that it could delay the entire project by 5 years. Keep that number in mind. So I basically said, this is the only plan that you're getting, so you better fucking vote for it. And then these people did vote for it, despite a lot of protestation at the time. So that was around November 4th, 2019, my birthday, in case you're interested. And this is an article from the Mirror, 18th of November, 2019. O'Devany Gardens housing project in Dublin cannot go ahead due to legal basis and funding. I'm going to skip it into the middle. Owen Murphy said it's highly unlikely the agreement over the O'Devany Gardens site can reach its intended goal of having 30% affordable rental units. So I believe that the 30% affordable rental units was added as a sort of sop to be like, okay, fine, we'll add these affordable rental units to just make the pill go down easier. And then it turns out he was just lying about that. So they have it here. On November 4th, a group of councillors known as the Dublin Agreement Group said they reached a deal with developers Bartra, which would see 30% of the units put aside as affordable rental. However, Mr. Murphy told Lord Mayor of Dublin, Paul McAleef, in a letter that the councillors' claims were made without consulting his department. So here are the quotes from Gannon at the time. Social Democrats councillor Gary Gannon acknowledged this was not the way he would have preferred the deal to go. Quote, "This isn't a perfect deal, and we're not going to try to convince you that it is. What we've done is make the best of an imperfect situation, but the deal we're bringing to council will benefit the citizens of Dublin. Politics is about tough decisions, and we've come to the conclusion that this is a good deal for the city. It's an absolute travesty that in order to build public housing on public-owned land, we must line the pockets of developers. But such is the nature of the ideological disposition that exists in the Department of Housing at the moment." So that's what he was, pretty diplomatic in the press. Here, he posts on November 5th, 2019 on Twitter, basically having a go at Sinn Féin. So Mary Lou has called out the O'Devany Gardens thing, probably pretty opportunistically, yes, given that Sinn Féin put forward the motion in 2016 that saw this whole bullshit go the way that it was. And he goes, oh, classic Sinn Féin. And he starts showing all the examples of their hypocrisy. Brilliant. Ailish Ryan responds, Sinn Féin are fooling nobody. And at Gary Gannon, neither are you. And Gary responds, I see you too, Ailish. I don't share your willingness to abandon actual people's lives on the altar of ideological purity. I never will. So yeah. There's also the famous bit where he said we live in a society, which I'm going to drop here.
To nameless, faceless markets and others who want to sacrifice the people they claim to represent to ideological purity. I don't live in a market and I don't live in a utopia. I live in a society.
So what happened with the Bartra deal afterwards? That was approved in 2019 and I'm sure construction got underway immediately. Oh no, wait, here we are in the currency, 2023. In December 2019, Bartra and Dublin City Council, DCC, entered a development agreement to redevelop the site following a competitive tendering process. At the time, Dublin City Council had a guarantee from Bartra that it had the resources to finance the construction of the project once it received planning permission, which it duly did in September 2021. But work didn't start. Instead, months of renegotiation began between DCC and Bartra. This eventually led to a modification notice to the contract for the delivery of an integrated mixed-tenure residential development at O'Devany Gardens on the European Union's Tenders Electronic Daily website, blah, blah, blah. This was published 2 days after last Christmas on December 27, 2022. A few weeks later, this modification was approved, fundamentally changing the economics of the deal in a manner that might be the envy of other developers stuck with the more onerous contracts. And all you basically need to know is they used COVID and Ukraine to shove a bunch more units onto it. So now 1,000 and something, and most of them are like single bed and, you know, lining their pockets more. Great stuff. And per the Irish Times, in December 18th, 2023, sod turned on O'Devany Gardens. So, from the looks of it, it appears that there has yet to be a single house built. And, 5 years later. And things have only gone worse. People are less able to afford this. People are going to be crammed on top of each other. And, I mean, I don't need to tell you. But here, look, we live in a society. My dad was still saying something like that today.
Violent clashes in Dublin. There's a 12-point driving limit put into place. Hundreds of thousands of people descended onto the nation's capital today in protest of the government's new crackdown on drinking and driving. And then the date. So it's supposed to look like an old newspaper. Wednesday, July 24th, 1974.
Now, I know we're talking about old memes, but you have to look up the Waterford Whispers merch shop, because I started going through that. And 14-year-old Gareth, those would have all been saved into a folder called Funny Pictures. Okay?
That's another one.
Yeah.
That's classic.
It's Marty
a new classic.
Morrissey on a €50 note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sent to me with a caption, here's €50 note for coming in this evening.
To who? For who's in that?
That didn't work.
Oh, right.
Not. So.
I thought you were saying Paulie sent that. Hey, here's a funny picture. It's harmless, all right? So don't get bent out of shape or anything.
I'm just having a laugh.
Okay. What's some other good thing? What's another meme?
They're all good.
For some reason, when you said, like, what's your first meme, I thought about that John West salmon ad where they kicked the bear in the balls.
I know. What's that one?
It was just an ad, but for like there was a lot of ads.
I remember the one that was. I put it in the island cabinet.
A filing cabinet.
Yeah.
That's Donegal catch ad, which is different. That's why they have that accent.
Do you have the Budweiser one?
Which one?
Budweiser used
So
to have
many.
the craziest.
Yeah.
When I was like, who greenlit this?
The fucking frogs. Do you remember that one?
No, but I do remember the Eagle one.
I don't remember that.
And if you saw that skit on Hometown,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be laughing. And it was
Yeah, just because it's in Super Bowl ads, people think, oh, God, it's so lame to laugh at that. Removed from that content, you're watching it, the boys are riffing, an eagle drinks a beer, I guess, or something.
Wrong.
Okay.
And it was a hawk, actually.
All right, well, you called it an eagle, so that's not on me.
The guy is a hawk. He's a hawk. And then he's like, go get me a beer.
Mm.
And the hawk goes, and they're like, he comes back, and there's 2 beers. And it's like, go get us another 2. It's like, where does it get them from? He's like, I don't know. And then it's like these people in a cafe, and they're like, "Ah."
I do remember that. What's another fucking meme? Come on, we can do this.
Dancing Baby.
Dancing Baby. What's your favorite like stock meme then? Do you like Bad Luck Brian, or do you like
Bad Luck Brian made me feel sick.
Yeah. What about Good Guy Greg?
I didn't like that.
I didn't like any of them. I'm talking about which is your favorite one out of a bad lot. Awkward Penguin.
There's one paranoid parrot one. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah, sort of.
And I think about that every day.
Mm.
And it's really rattled me. It's amazing how much it rattled me. It's like, because the time I didn't quite appreciate that, like, these are just made by random people.
Yeah, and also
like
that they're not true. Some of them, like, that never occurred to me. I thought when they did them that, like, holy shit, this guy did this. Yeah.
To me, it was like, you know, the way, like, teenage girls are affected by, like, Photoshop.
Yeah.
I was affected by memes in the same way. It's like, it nearly gave me an eating disorder, like, but it sort of was like paranoid. It wasn't. I don't think it ever really took off. It was like a parrot that was paranoid about technology.
Okay.
And it was like, I can't remember the phrasing, but it's like the parrot would be typing in his password and then get one letter wrong and delete the whole password and start again.
Yeah.
You know, like start typing it out again. I do that.
Yeah.
And every time I do that, I'm just like the parrot.
Yeah.
I was literally just saw that the other day.
Yeah. Do you know one that I think about all the time, even though I don't know, the whole this is going to be so fucking stupid, but you know that like angry wolf thing?
Yeah,
like, oh,
I hate that one.
I hate that one. You know, it's like, what's an angry wolf one? What would it be like?
It would be like, it would be like lollipop lady tells me to stop my car. How about I stop your life?
Yes, exactly, stuff like that. And so then there was another one, and it was a frog, and the frog would do like gross things.
I don't like that one either.
Yeah.
The one I remember from that one was, it's funny that people are like, he never remembers anything we talked about on the podcast. Like, here's a list of all the memes I read when I was 17. But it was, it was like, you're, it's like there's shit in the toilet stuck on the side.
Okay, sorry.
And
No,
then,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're like pissing the shit off.
Yeah. Hate that. Gross. No, this is similar, but like it was a combination of those two memes where it was like the wolf basically saying something to the effect of like, nothing will ever gross me out, or, you know, nothing's off limits to me, or whatever. And then the frog goes, take one wipe, don't see anything, use it to blow nose. Okay. And then cut back to the wolf, and the wolf's like, oh damn, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, like for ages I was like, that is fucking rotten. That is so disgusting. That is so awful.
Yeah, that's foul.
And literally, like, however many years later, like probably like more recent than I want to admit, like 2018 or something, I was like, that was probably a lie. Actually, nobody would ever do that.
Oh yeah, I didn't think those ones were real.
No, I thought like
You thought someone did that.
yeah, the people would say things, and I would just believe them. And I swear to God, and I know this sounds silly, but like it wasn't until Chapo Trap House where I was listening, and then they would read something out, and they would go, "Well, that didn't happen," and then I'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
It can just not happen. Somebody would just say that this. It just never occurred to me. I was like, well, why would you bother creating an image and put it up there and tell this story? And there's a thing at the moment. So there's a B3TA. It's pronounced Beater. You remember that website in the UK? It was a forum, and God, like it used to be a great place. They'd make like memes and stuff. And
what was it called?
It's spelled B3TA, but it's pronounced Beater. And they would do loads of kind of edgelord stuff back in the day, and a very meaner part of when the internet was a lot meaner, you know.
Yeah.
And they had a newsletter, and the newsletter was really good. And then the website kind of went in different directions, and then eventually they brought back the newsletter, but it's compromised by the existence of Twitter. It just never felt the same again. But they used to have a thing where people would send in stories of stuff that they did, you know, to a theme, you know. So like one of the stories would be like fucking a guy says that he took a bunch of acid and then he left the pub and he started freaking out because he thought Daleks were chasing him, and then it turned out the next day there was a Doctor Who convention that was around the corner, shit like that, you know. And there was other stories, but I used to read those and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But now they've brought that back, and people, it's a Twitter account, and people send in their kind of confessions. And now, because there's such a volume of them coming out, you suddenly realize, how the fuck did I ever believe any of those stories? Because it's just, but people really love like sending in a story. It's not attributed to them, and it's a completely made up lie.
Yeah.
And they love the fact that people are like liking it and believing it. It's crazy.
There's a website called like FML.
Fuck my life.
Yeah. It was like stories, tragic, you know, not tragic stories.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Like kind of like, oh God.
Stories of bad luck.
I dropped an ice cream. But fuck my life.
But I find with those things, there was like always two strains of person. And it was like, the one that would be like, I did acid, and then I thought I was getting chased by the Daleks.
Yeah.
I thought, turned out it was a Doctor Who thing.
Yeah, FML. Yeah.
And then the other one would be like, say they were writing that story, they'd be like, I got drunk, and I thought the Daleks were chasing after me, so I tried to kill one, saying, you'll never take me alive.
Yeah.
But then it turned out it was just a guy with a bin on his head.
Yeah.
It was a homeless guy with a bin on his head. It's like, they're both made up.
Yeah.
But for some reason, one is completely overwritten.
Yeah, over embellished and
like turned into this like epic thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one is like almost underwritten. You know, like I've always been interested in the people who are like trying to make it too quirky.
Yeah.
You know?
That when I was a kid, that used to happen. You know, you used to kind of like embellish stories because you just like to tell a good story. But then, if there was a kid and they were like over embellishing it, like, and then I flipped over the handlebars, my bike went into a ditch. And then, you know, I skidded for like 10 feet. You're just like, you're ruining this now.
Yeah.
There's a guy I knew. Speaking of there was a guy I knew when I was a kid, and we grew up, and I met him when I was in my mid-20s. And I just added him on Facebook, and then he was like drinking a lot and kind of a bit of a party animal, and he just like cleaned up his act, and he just started like super working out all the time, and he's like trying to encourage everybody to work out and just get ripped, and but this one time he said, he's like, a guy I won't say his name, but he came over to me and he was crying, and he said, Paul, how could I be as ripped as you?
Yeah.
I just couldn't get over it. I was like, that is so, like,
How'd you expect anyone to believe that? Yeah.
It's such an obvious lie, but even if it wasn't, if that happened to you, I'd never fucking post that in a million years. Because you'd be like, people will think I'm such an asshole. Like, they wouldn't. Oh, so good. Anyway, I use his real name, so don't look him up.
Yeah, what's his second name?
No, actually, I won't know. Sometimes I get bullied into. I don't. It's not bullying because
Ligers
you just go
attack.
Yeah. Because you just go like, just say it. It'll be funny, and I'm like, okay, and then I say it.
What about rage comics? Where do you stand on rage comics?
I'm not even sure what that is.
And as I said, I was like, I shouldn't admit to knowing the name.
What are rage comics?
You know the ones that are like, it's like they look hand drawn, but they're all just copy and pasted. It's like a white background.
Yeah.
You know those ones? All the guys are called like Herp.
I think I know.
You do. Look them up. Oh wait, you can't.
With my phone battery. Charged up a bit.
So it's always like drawn in paint. It's supposed to look like they're drawn in paint, and then they're just little stories. It'll be like, you looking it up?
I am. Good.
Turn it on.
Turn on. It's like a laptop or whatever.
What else? Yeah. Well, then they just tell stories. The famous one is like, the famous one is the guy who's like, me. They're the ones who would be like, la. Who would invented that?
Yeah.
It's like, me listening to the music, going to school.
Yeah.
And then
Is there one that's animated and it's... Oh no, that's
the girls are like, well, you should listen to Justin Bieber. He's epic.
Yeah.
And then he's like, actually, AC/DC are way more epic than thingy, whatever.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then it's like, faith in humanity.
Restored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know these ones. Yeah. I was thinking of, you know the one where it's like, boy and girl.
Yeah.
And I love you, you know. And he said, do you love me forever? And he said, no.
Oh yeah, I love you five ever.
And then she run, and like, woman run across the road before a green man came on the scene. She did. And then he comes, you know.
What are they?
They're like animated versions of those, basically. But it's a guy doing like an epic reading of it. Like this if you cry every time. And it's really bad. It's like he's very obnoxious. But somehow I got listening to one of them. And it's just kind of the wording of it got like right in my head. And now I've only watched it like 4 times. Okay. I've only watched it 4 times. But it is like a 3-minute video. And like I watched it once. I was like, that was so fucking stupid. And then I was like, I'm going to crack that on again. And then I was like saying, you have to see this. And then eventually like I watched it like 5 times. And now I've just like committed it to memory.
Yeah. Or like the epic read. It's funny how epic was like a perfectly normal word to use. The epic reading of the Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah.
What was that called again?
I actually don't know. I never listened to that one, funnily enough. I thought
My Eternal or something like that.
Yes. I thought you were going to say the one of like a real breakup letter from my real girlfriend. You know, dear loser, Chris, I thought you liked me. You said it yourself. I hate you. That one's really good. You real loser and bastard.
Yeah.
Like, I hate you more than anything in this damn world.
I hate you and I know you still like me, but I don't like you. I don't care what your stupid friends say. You make me touch your hands for stupid reasons.
I feel like there's been a resurgence in this sort of, but in the like Arabic world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel
Arabic
like
world.
if you went on the Arabic internet, they'd still be posting things. It's like, you know, the girl was like, will you be here after my heart surgery?
Yeah.
The boyfriend would be like, yes. And then she wakes up and he's gone. And they're like, where's my boyfriend? Who do you think gave you the heart?
Yeah.
I feel like that does numbers on the Arabic internet.
Yeah. I
So
think,
it's that and Richard Boyd Barrett. But
yeah. I wonder if it took that long for like the wave to crest. Do you know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
that stuff just like in Ireland, anything, you know, where they. Because Ireland, they're doing. Oh, yeah, sure. We didn't even look at the Waterford Whispers thing because the memes they have on that are like, you know. I'll look at my topics as well while I'm at it. But yeah, what was that? I was trying to think of other things Zainab was saying about the Arab world and their memes and their ways. Actually, I just
ways.
I remember this guy I lived with who was like Bulgarian. He was like, "Oh yeah, check out like this thing," and it would be the stuff he would show me would be like all the letters where it's like, "Dear neighbor, I hope that you're all right. I heard quite a commotion last night and presumed a burglar had come in and had beaten you all." But like, you know, and then it's just trying to be like, stop having sex so loudly.
Yeah.
But all of the letters are the same, and he's just taking me through like at least 10 of them, just like laughing.
It would be like, dear neighbor, you're only supposed to be praying 5 times a day, not all night. The next time you shout, "Oh God," in the middle of it.
Exactly.
You know.
This shit. Yeah. So very, very funny.
It's the equivalent of like, you know that joke. The husband rings his wife. She goes, "Be careful driving home. Some lunatic driving the wrong way down the M50."
Yeah.
She goes, "It's not just one. There's bloody hundreds of them."
God damn, that's good. No.
I feel like that's the Irish standard for a joke. Whereas the Arabic one, it's like jokes about praying.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at them. Now, some of them are good. Okay. I'll give them that. But then some of them I was like, oh, brother. One of them is a picture of, Leonardo DiCaprio from Django Unchained. And he's like, that face. And then they've put him holding a pint, and underneath it says, "Snaky pints."
Yes. Sorry, that. I was like, Zainab's mum sent you that? I was like,
yeah, sorry. I feel bad now because that's much better.
It's really like, what? That is unreal.
I know. Yeah.
Imagine wearing that.
But like, this is on
Like,
like
that's
the
to-
premium satire website in Ireland, like
To buy.
yeah.
To pay money for.
That's
I remember once finding like a meme page for some like school, some secondary school. And the memes would be like that. It'd be like, St. Bridget's Convent School Athlone.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, when Mrs. Muldoon gives you that look.
Yeah.
Give us another one.
There was one that was really good. I remember it like I was like, oh, this is all mid, but I remember there was one that made me want to show you. I'll read out this one that's not as funny. It's Michael D. Higgins, and it's the poster for the movie Up, and the Oris is in the place of his house, and it's called Sickos. So you can see that.
Is that a...
That's all that his dog is there as well. His
I
dog
hate those dogs.
His freaking pupper is there as well.
I think they should take those dogs off.
There's one in... Yeah.
It's like... I don't know, it just annoys me that he gets such goodwill off those dogs.
Yeah. They are really...
Yeah, the army should shoot them.
I was thinking about just how brand conscious he is. Like, he's like, oh, I got this dog, and then eventually it's like, Miguel D and his dogs, and then one of them dies, and he just replaces it with another dog. Like, he's literally that, like, kind of, no, that's my thing.
Get another one,
It's the Lego font, and it says Legend.
And
that one is just lazy.
I think if I was president, I'd have, like, an ostrich on the end of a leash. And I'd just walk around town. It would be like hacking at my head and stuff. And then when it gets hit by a bus, I've just got another one.
Sorry, just got one here. So there's one that's really stupid, and it's the Jaws poster, but there's a pint in place of Jaws, and it says pints. Okay. And then this one, though, is one of the most perfect. Now, this one is... I might get James this for his birthday.
What?
I'm probably going to get this for your birthday. So we got that.
Grand Theft Ireland. That is literally...
We were talking about that today, that like Grand Theft Galway, where it'd be like, the traditional kind of, what would you call it? Like the kind of cover art for Grand Theft Auto games where there's, and so there'd be a grid, and one would be like a bottle of Buckfast, and one would be like the Salmon Weir Bridge.
Like those, in the era we were talking about, like I remember people on Bebo having like Grand Theft Dublin on the, like, as a profile picture. Yeah. And it'd be like a fella with a Burberry cap and
Where's it taking me back now?
What?
You're taking me back.
It's the era of Gollum in the Burberry cap and the Riley cigarette and the, like, I don't know, the Starlet car in the background. Yeah.
I hate it.
And the fact, how much are they selling that for?
That's a good question. First of all, actually, let's just explain. Top grid for Grand Theft Ireland, in case you're curious, is a vulture. The middle grid is Leo wearing sunglasses, surrounded by Stephen Donnelly and Darragh O'Brien. The top right corner is an empty wallet. Then it's a picture of, is his name Michael what's his fucking name? The Fianna Fáil finance guy, Michael McGrath. Yeah. And he's holding the budget. And then on the right, they have a petrol pump, and the price is going up. And then on the bottom left, they have eviction notice and a guy with his head in his hands. And then in the middle, they have Bertie and Mihal smiling at each other. Then this one is pretty grim, actually. It's a picture of a nun holding a baby that has a 5k price tag on it.
What the? It's really an escalation.
Yeah, then it goes a for sale sign, 1-bed apartment, 800k. And then the bottom one is a homeless person on the Halfpenny Bridge.
The nun one is just so, out of
nowhere.
It's like it was like a priest fucking a kid or something. It's like, it's a bit too dark.
Now give me a real guess of what you think that this would cost, okay?
What is it, a poster?
It's a t-shirt. And don't go like, oh, €100.
In a just world.
Yeah.
That would cost 15 quid.
It's €26.
That's rip. Like, they just went to funnymemes.com and downloaded them. Like, they just went to the Facebook page that was like, crack. Good crack and good times.
This one will actually bring us nicely into a topic that I want to talk about, okay? Which is, it's Super Mario, okay? But it says Super Marty, and it's made to look like Marty Whelan. And
that's so shit.
And I fucking hate Marty Whelan because I hate the whole meme granddad thing that he does, and then the fact that he went to
Israel.
He did the commentary for Eurovision this year and was kind of supporting Bambi Thug. And you may say, hey, look, we all got to earn a crust sometimes.
Look,
maybe it's
grand. I would just say Eurovision is about the music. They're making the worst music in the world. And it's for gay men in, Western Europe. Yeah. And it's for old women in Eastern Europe. And that's all it's for.
But former host of the Eurovision and also former winning streak host Mike Murphy,
Justin,
big supporter of Palestine and has been for ages. But in what was the year that they went to Tel Aviv? Was that 2019?
Who?
Eurovision.
No, I really don't follow the Eurovision.
Well, Eurovision was in Tel Aviv one year, and there wasn't as much as in present day of a boycott then.
Yeah, well, the war hadn't started yet.
Yeah, so. No, there was going on there that was worthy of. And I saw people just going, they just like to talk about it. They just think, oh, it's a big fun gay party, basically. And I think that I just find it really fucked up that they did it in Tel Aviv and that people were still watching and supporting it. But even this year, they're still trying to be like, no, it's still fine. We can still enjoy this. We still gotta go.
Yeah.
And then
that's the year the chicken woman was on.
What was a chicken woman?
She had chicken legs.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember she was... Don't jump down my throat for saying this. Fat. And then she's talking about chicken.
I don't have a clue.
You remember that?
No, I don't remember much. I actually don't remember much out of Eurovision beyond Lordy winning back in 2000 and whatever.
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah.
That was such a rage meme.
I know that we use the word epic. Like, people say epic a lot, but that, sir, was epic.
Yeah.
It was fucking epic, okay? And I don't care, because the other one that was on that year was...
for real, that sucked.
No, I'm being for real. I am. I'm actually being for real,
Why?
which is crazy. I don't know. I just liked it. I just thought it was fun.
It's stupid.
But yeah, anyway, Mike Murphy was saying, don't go to Tel Aviv. See what's happening in Palestine. We shouldn't be supporting that. We should use our voice to make sure that...
Yeah, but
it's
Mike
not
Murphy
happening.
thought that Lordy were Jewish.
He wasn't doing it that year. Lordy was ages ago.
He was just like, see,
Yeah.
this is Israel's entry. They're
Yeah.
not wearing makeup.
So...
They're not wearing makeup, Gareth. That's what he thought.
Yeah, they've finally... this is... Yeah, okay. That's
He
it.
was like Netanyahu.
Yeah. Well, that would be what Netanyahu would look like.
He's in a
without
band.
makeup.
With Alan Shatter and the rest.
But yeah, there's a bunch of bullshit that happened over the weekend where, like, there's a bunch of these efforts to go, like, hey, there's huge demonstrations outside. Fair enough. That's cool. Those people that were outside protesting, good. And then there was a bunch of efforts at people being inside the tent going, I'm actually really pissed off of being inside the tent with these guys.
That would have sucked if we were like, Jesus, I wish. And then your man from the Netherlands.
Yeah, he got... I didn't really figure out what that was about, but
I
then...
also don't give a fuck. Like, the Netherlands, people from the Netherlands are we suck. Do you know what I mean? So...
Yeah.
I don't care.
Like, the problem with it was, like, what ends up happening, okay, they're like, look, this is about the music and it's about, like, gay celebration, and then you have, like, a non-binary entry.
I don't think they say that.
Huh?
They don't really say it.
It's like kind of, it's like fucking gay spar type thing. It's like,
I don't think the Eurovision do.
I think it's like heavily implied. That's what it's...
No, I know that's our reading of it. But for like...
No, in recent years, it's a big thing. They play it in, like, gay bars. There's drag queens, all this stuff.
But that's definitely how it's received in Ireland. But if you go to like...
No, even in the UK and all across Europe.
No, but I'm saying, if you go to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Or if you went to Romania.
Yeah.
Or you went to Italy.
Mm.
They wouldn't be seeing it as a gay thing. They'd just be like, hey, it's just good music, beautiful people.
Yeah, but that's because they're gay and they don't realize it. That's what they like all gay shit, and they don't even know that it's gay.
Yeah, but that's my point. And what I'm saying is that half the people in the Eurovision don't even realize the other half are gay.
But there's so much of that gay stuff. Like, do you remember, what's your one with the beard who won that time?
I don't
know.
A
few years ago. And then, like, your one Bambi Thug going out there with the huge, like, trans get up on. Do you know, where she's dressed in the trans flag?
I don't know, I didn't watch it.
I didn't
Boom. Oh my
saw some
God.
images.
Oh my God.
But wait, did I misgender? I'm really bad for misgendering this one.
How can you misgender
Apologies.
someone who doesn't have a gender? That's what I want to know.
Fuck. I saw this tweet and it really bugged me because somebody was like, they met another non-binary person and they were like, hey, if two non-binaries meet, does that make them binary? I was like, that doesn't make sense at all. What are you talking about? Like,
funny
0
though.
plus 0 equals 1? Doesn't that naturally?
It's
Like,
funny though, you gotta admit.
hey, we're talking about them.
What was the question?
I was just saying that it's a big gay celebration, okay?
It's not a question.
And I guess it's not. I
was just saying the thing I was saying.
Yeah. What was the question?
I was... yeah, go on. Anyway.
No, it's a big gay celebration, and they're like, I continue to want to go to this celebration, and I'm going to go and make my little, gestures of like wearing the fucking, trans flag up on stage. And, but then at the same time, like, the whole competition is riddled with Israel, okay? And I just mean Israel as a concept,
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, this guy who was a bit stroppy, like apparently like backstage he might have been a bit mean to the Israeli candidate. Now, okay, I haven't read the article. I don't know what the fuck is up with it. All I'm saying is that once Israelis get involved and then they go, this guy for sexual reasons toward a woman probably is now no longer able to perform and he's disqualified.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, that seems a bit like that hasn't happened in Eurovision as far as I'm aware before.
But they're also like not getting on before. Like I think there been particular animosity between
this Dutch guy and the Israeli. But I'm just saying that,
and then
once that happens, then like the EBU just goes, oh well, he's gone.
Exactly.
And on the fucking day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So all this thing where it's like, oh, unfortunately we're locked in. I don't know, we can't do it. I'd love to protest. I'd love to, but I'm going to have to use my platform as best as I can. I'm going to write it in fucking whatever on the side of my fucking face.
Yeah.
And it's just like, then on the day, this guy who seems to have just pissed off the Israeli candidate, you're gone. Fuck you.
Yeah. Bye bye. Did we talk about the album thing?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so funny. It's like, I'm going, but don't worry, I'll be protesting my way.
Yeah.
It's like, you may not protest in that way.
And it was also the most innocuous thing. It was like ceasefire. It wasn't even like free Palestine or anything.
It was like if you were trying to come up with a code to communicate it during a war.
Yeah.
You choose home. I have a little article here.
Which one? Bambi Thug angry at Israeli Eurovision commentary about semi-final performance?
No, it's much worse.
Well, I want to read that. So read your thing and then I'm reading. No, but
Okay,
I'm just mentioning. I'm just saying that's what I want to do. Do you have batteries, by the way?
What?
Do you have batteries, by the way? 4 AA batteries.
Why?
Just because we might be running low on that.
Let me find this.
Alright, fine.
Is there not more batteries in the bag?
Well, there might be dead batteries in the bag.
You just buy 4 batteries last time.
I don't know if I... Well, okay, I'll take a look. You're right. Maybe I have some batteries in there.
Now that I'm free, I can talk about anything.
Shut up. They didn't
Bambi
say that.
Thug breaks
Fuck
silence on absence from Eurovision dress rehearsal.
Oh, fucking dickhead.
They were speaking soon after their fellow non-binary competitor Nemo was crowned. Blah blah blah, and the whole thing was like, finally the veil is lifted. I've been ungagged. It's like, first of all, you shouldn't have gone.
Yeah, it's entirely self-imposed. Your gag, okay.
And like you could have been speaking out the whole time, and you sort of were half. You were sort of in like, yeah, it's really shitty of me to go. But hey, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, and then now you're just gonna be like, and it was awful. Israel, well, just talking about like how it was pandering to Israel. It's like a lot of people said that to you. So many people said that you had to address it.
Yeah.
So like, you're literally saying nothing new.
Yeah. But like, yeah, and just to read this bit as well. So like, the so the headline I read already, but basically, just hold it closer to the microphone. Make sure that bag is getting nice up and.
Said you bought 8 batteries.
Well, you find them there. Yeah, but I don't know if those are the old ones or not.
I'd say you threw the old ones in the bin.
I don't do that. I wait until I can dispose of them properly.
When and how often is that?
Never. That's why I have a big box of dead batteries in my house. I'm just telling you, that's what I do. So that's why I know those ones might not be. So anyway, Bambi Thug is kind of going like, oh, I was really pissed off at some commentary that Israel did, okay? On Tuesday, a commentator on Can, the Israeli public service broadcaster, warned TV viewers with children that Bambi Thug's performance of their song Doomsday Blue would be the most scary of the night. There will be a lot of spells and black magic and dark clothing, satanic symbols and voodoo dolls, like we are at Cat Square in Jerusalem in the mid-90s. The commentator said this, referring to a well-known public square in Jerusalem that was central to the city's nightlife in the 1990s and synonymous with goth culture. The commentator said that there was some controversy in Ireland about the song, referencing a petition calling on RTE to disqualify Doomsday Blue as Ireland's entry. Okay.
Yeah.
Signed by what? Fucking two cranks, but whatever.
What a homophobic country Israel is.
Yeah.
Like, you can imagine it going a lot worse.
Yes.
Instead of being like, this person who's dressed like a witch sure is scary.
Yeah. Well, that was what I was going to say. As in, like, you have this event that, like, the gay community is embraced, and we're like, we're going to watch it. We're all going to come together. It's going to be the big thing. And then you have somebody who's part of the LGBTQ community, and they go, despite what's happening in Gaza, I'm still going to go. I'm still going to support them. And then the Israelis just, like, invade it. Okay. Yeah. And then what you also see is, like, this list of commentators like Andrew Neil and all these, like, conservatives, and they're like, I'm voting for Israel because, and they're watching it for the first time ever, and they're like, what are all these fucking fruits doing here?
Yeah.
And they're getting all wound up by all the gay stuff in it, you know?
Were they?
Oh, yeah. There's tons of posts about it, and they were like, it's breaking down of it. And then they, you know, this is what Israel was able to do. What they did is they came fifth in the popular vote or something like that.
Okay.
Like they won the popular vote because they got the most votes.
Like Hillary Clinton.
This is, I mean, like, so, well, it is also like Clinton because, no, it's not like Clinton. I don't know what I was getting.
Evil witch.
But the point is that all these guys are going, hey, it only costs 15p to vote. I've done it 333 times. So, like, the numbers are like Israel always does, where, like, oh, somebody with 12 followers says, hey, Gaza shouldn't be carpet bombed, and then they go, you know, dox them and report them to their employer, have 12 million bots to descend upon them. It's like, this is what they did with Eurovision. And so this person was like, I'm just going to go because it's an important thing and I have to be there. And now you've accepted that, and now Israel has fucking ruined the thing that you had. And, like, and you've allowed them to do that. You've allowed them to, and because she's the Israeli thing, which is also important to mention. She's also Russian, the Russian Israeli, what's the one I'm looking for? Contestant for Eurovision goes up there and gets to play like this victim card. So, like, all these people will go like, you know, oh, boo, we hate you, we don't want you here, we're still going to watch and, like, support all of this stuff. And then you know, Bambi Thug will go up and wear their fucking their nails that look slightly like a Palestinian flag. And then at the end of it, it doesn't matter because they come behind Israel, 6 to Israel's 5th.
Yeah.
And then all of these racist right-wing reactionaries support Israel, and it's like all the LGBTQ plus clothing that they were wearing in this very performative way. It's like, it's just so hollow. It's just Europe completely laid bare, isn't it? I don't know.
There's one other quote I have here that feeds into what you're saying. So, pretty sure in their speech anyway, we're like talking to the press afterwards. They didn't really mention Israel Palestine, but they said I just want to get it right because
you know how litigious they are.
Huh?
You know how litigious they are.
I'm pretty sure they said they'd like Israel to be banned from the next one.
Good job.
Can't find the quote anymore.
Well, I like this one here because that happened, which I thought was the most benign criticism of Bambi Thug, you know.
Oh, sorry, here it is.
Yeah.
They're talking about Can, which I think is the
same TV channel.
So Can, blah blah blah. That broadcaster disobeyed the rules, and I hope next year they won't be allowed to compete because of that.
How did they disobey the rules? What did they do?
Bambi Thug says that they incited violence against them.
No, they didn't. I read the transcript of it, and they absolutely did not. Here's the transcript, actually. It's in this article. Wow, and also it's the most Israeli sounding thing. Wow, what is about to happen now with Ireland? Wow, wow, what is about to happen now with Ireland? This is a song, Doomsday Blue. They have had a more subtle past with the likes of Johnny Logan, who you will see on stage later. But what's going to happen this evening? The song is Doomsday Blue by Bambi Thug, and now it's time to get your children away from the TV screens. And by the way, that's their whole thing, which is like, I'm a witch, I'm a fucking scary witch. And so it's like, well, like, if Lordy came on, okay, then somebody would go, oh, get your kids away from the screen. These guys are pretty scary. Yeah. You know? Like, it doesn't mean anything. But anyway, we're about to see the most scary song of the night. There will be a lot of spells and black magic and dark clothing, satanic symbols and voodoo dolls like we are at Cat Square in Jerusalem in the mid-90s. Now there might be 200 people at most that get this reference. Anyway, there is some controversy about the song in Ireland too. There is a petition against Bambi Thug, which claims they are making a mockery of Irish culture. I was like, well, maybe like signed by like fucking 3 people. Also, who cares? Also, it's Israel. What the fuck do you expect exactly? Do you know?
You can imagine homophobic people signing that petition.
When they go, you said they, as Bambi Thug wants to be referred to in the plural as part of their non-binary identity. They also like to speak negatively about Israel, but we can talk about that later. Prepare your curses. Wow, this is a very strange entrant compared to what we are used to from Ireland.
So many Israelis speak like they're Eurovision hosts.
I know, yeah.
Like they're permanently hosting the Eurovision.
Just like, you know, isn't it funny how they speak like Eastern Europeans? Yeah, that is funny, isn't it? It's curious. Because that's what they are. They're just the Zionist project is just taking a bunch of white Eastern Europeans and moving them down to this outpost in the Middle East to beat the shit out of the locals.
That's interesting, because I was watching this. It was like a brief discussion about Jewish history and Zionism. And that a lot of Ashkenazis aren't white.
Oh, really?
They're like Asian.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like there was like this sort of point of contention.
Yeah, who made that documentary?
There was like a lot of Ashkenazis who moved to America. The richer ones got like plastic surgery. And like white passing ones did better. But then like other Ashkenazis who had like more Asian features were like completely disenfranchised from the Jewish community.
Right.
Interesting, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before, but even simple things like Yiddish was like pretty much eradicated as well.
Yeah.
There's an effort made to destroy it as opposed to bringing back Hebrew, which was like considered a dead language.
But I can imagine Zionism favouring white passing Ashkenazis.
Yeah, big time.
So what was your favourite song in the Eurovision?
I didn't watch Eurovision. Here's another one. I don't know if you saw this, but so they kind of booed her in the rehearsal, the Israeli entry, and then backstage then they filmed a TikTok of them going, we're just doing our rehearsal, and she starts singing, and they get a bunch of Israelis like, boo, boo, and they're all grinning, and they're so happy, and they're just like, boo, I actually love that you're booing me, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just sort of see, like, this idea of, like, it's just, they are so protected. Like, again, this lady just goes, get him out of here, and then he goes, the Dutch guy, and then you go, I'm protesting you, and they go, oh, you're protesting me, oh, aren't you? So yeah, and just the idea that these people, did they actually convince themselves that they could go there and make a difference, or did they just like not care and go anyway?
Who?
Like Ollie Alexander and Bambi Thug, yeah.
No, you'd have to know it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's just such a raging narcissist, just insane.
How old is Bambi Thug?
31.
Yeah, no, you can't be 31 and being like.
That was the maddest thing, because we were watching like a primetime segment because we saw that Sean Fitzgerald, friend of the show, was being interviewed about it. It turned out it was tragically oversold.
Well, so he didn't say he was beat.
No, but there's a picture of him on prime time, and he was talking about Bambi Thug, and I thought he's going to be on the show. Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, I think it's shit. I think they shouldn't be doing it," you know. And I was like,
he's very funny because everyone has been interviewed, and like it was just a vox pop.
Yeah.
And then they get to Sean, and they're like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't think they should go." It's like, and the interviewer was like, "Oh, don't you think it's just about the music? It's not about politics?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, look what they did to Russia, and which clearly is political. Has been political for a while."
Yeah. But like they brought on one of the guys from the Hothouse Flowers, and then they were interviewing him to be like, "Do you think it's fair to be going after Bambi Thug?" And he was like, "I love their song, I love their music, but I do think it's fair to apply pressure where we can." But what Sarah McInerney said was, "Do you think it's fair to put that much pressure on a 19-year-old girl?" And I was like, "They're 19." Also, she called her a girl. I didn't call her a girl. But and I was like, "Oh God, maybe that is harsh. Maybe that doesn't." And then I look up and the 31 was like, "Are you fucking joking me?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was such an effort made to be like this poor weak creature that is just. It
is sort of like Hunter Biden is only 52 years old.
Come on.
He's just a boy.
Whom amongst us hasn't done a bunch of crack and gone there? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I've done crack.
Yeah.
Down the pub.
Yeah.
In Ireland, it means something a little bit different.
Yeah. How much crack do you want? Let me say 90.
Yeah. That would be such a good Waterford Whispers local crack dealer. And it's what would the image be?
It would be local crack dealer. Oh, right. I think it would be a guy with the little cap, and he'd look like the Darby O'Gill and the Little People kind of fella.
See, he needs to have. So here's what I think it would be. It would be the guy has the trench coat. He's holding it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a bunch of pints on the inside.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right. I think we cracked it there. Maybe we should actually open up a merch, and we should do some merch and see how that goes. Make T-shirts to order. I think that there'll be somebody out there.
Well, yeah. I mean, we keep saying it. It's just.
I'll keep saying. I'm sorry. I'll keep saying it. I don't.
Well, we do. I think we've been talking about doing Christmas cards for maybe about 6 years now.
Well, we should do the Christmas cards this year because there is enough lead in to actually do a Christmas card now. So people hold us to account, send us in some messages, and there was. Let me see what other story. There's an awful
smell.
What?
There's an awful smell in the room.
Is there?
No, it's just.
I mean, it's just the smell of Booterstown. That's what I took it to be.
Stop.
You take that back.
That was Eurovision.
So here's one that's funny, by the way. Just this is only like a little thing, all right? There's a new show out on Netflix called Bodkin. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
But Will Forte is in it, and it's set in Ireland.
Okay.
And it's like an Irish drama comedy that has like a murder mystery component. Okay. And it's produced by the Obamas.
Oh.
And I was like, I kind of thought like, oh, okay, you're creating like this hyper localized content for like, oh, here's for Irish people. Like with Last One Laughing, where it's like, let's do Last One Laughing in Ireland, Last One Laughing fucking Spain, Last One Laughing wherever. It's like, we're going to do some shows for Ireland to capture an Irish audience. And then also it has the added benefit of we can pitch it to an international market and they get to see a bit of Ireland or whatever. And then it's produced by the fucking Obamas. And then most of the people involved in it are Brits, as far as I could see.
Oh, so speaking of Last One Laughing, we got
we are past an hour, so it's safe to.
What?
We're past an hour now. So.
Well, the interesting thing is that whole episode was behind a paywall,
and yet
so an unnamed source met with, actually I don't know what the guy's name was, one of the producer for Kite
Entertainment,
and they were like, the producer was like talking about they make last one laughing. And then they were like, who are these Celtic Ligers? They did an episode on last one laughing.
Yeah.
And seemed very annoyed and upset.
I mean, I'd probably be. Is that? But were they actually annoyed and upset?
Apparently so.
Oh, so you found that out? You confirmed
Yeah.
that? That's fine. I mean, we didn't say anything nice about it, so they probably wouldn't be happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised that they listened to it. Like,
Yeah, well then they have to pay us a $5, unless they figured out something. I don't know.
it was actually, cause every so often we'll get a Patreon. And
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know this person? Increasingly now we don't know the people who signed up. So maybe it was one of
Nice.
them. But
and if you're a rat, if you
Yeah.
did that, okay, we released that in confidence to you.
yeah.
This is us talking with you about stuff that we think is stupid and bad,
Yeah.
and you just can't go and tattle. You can't go and bring it over. Look what they said about you, teacher.
Yeah. It is also just so funny to me, like, you like made this show and it's got the reception what it does, and you're like looking at the reception, you find this paywalled 3-hour podcast. From the first 30 seconds,
Yeah.
I think we are ripping into it.
Yeah.
I'd say even from the title,
Yeah.
and then you're like, you listen for the 3 hours.
I don't get it as well, because also, like, if you look at the reach of the podcast, where it's like, what, how many patrons? Because it's visible, you can look it up. You can see how many
like
patrons
it's
there are.
such a like.
Look at how much money we're making. You go and look at the Patreon, you see that amount of money, and then you look at your fucking bank balance and just shut the fuck up.
I know, but even just like, we're not a big podcast, and then our Patreon subscriber is just so much smaller.
Yeah.
He must have really been scraping the bottom of the barrel.
I don't know why he bothered, because, like, and clearly he was seeking out, like, bad reviews of it, because actually, like, if you go on Reddit, the bulk of the reviews were incredibly positive. People were like, so The Independent gave it a bad review, the Irish Times gave it a bad review, but then that was the critics. You go on, you read people, and they're like, yeah, just like watching Tony Campbell, I thought it was a bit of crack, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the majority opinion of the people who watched it was like, I didn't expect high art. I just wanted to watch something and have a laugh, and I did.
Yeah, I would say the average thing was like, this is mid, but I like mid things.
Yeah, and I just want. My sister's in Canada right now, and she watched it. She was like, "Oh yeah, we thought it was art," and she just wanted it because I was like, I just want to feel like here's some Irish accents, and here's something like just feels like it's of home or is referencing the things that I like, and also that's actually what we said in the thing. You said it was perfectly calculated and calibrated for an Irish millennial brain. You know? That's what it was. I mean, like, I didn't like it, and that's what we said. We thought it was quite bad, but also we said, like, we liked Tony, and we liked Martin, and we liked Peter McGann, and we liked Dermot O'Brien, and we don't like any of the women. We've made that very clear. No, I like Emma Doran. I also said I love Emma Doran. I thought she was.
You hated Emma Doran?
No, I did not. You can go back and listen to the part. I love Emma Doran.
Oh.
I didn't like Catherine Bohart. I didn't like her at all. And Deirdre O'Kane, just fucking, awful. I don't know what it is. She just rubs me the wrong way. I'm sorry.
And then less said about
Amy Huberman.
What's his name?
Amy Huberman.
No.
But Amy Huberman.
Huberman.
But who was it? Dave McSavage. Fucking Dave McSavage.
Yeah, the man of many nationalities.
Oh yeah, Paul Tylek.
Yeah.
Ethnically ambiguous.
And I only say that because the Four Alarms and Dogs stuff.
Yeah.
Where he plays multiple different ethnic backgrounds.
Did I say this already? I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but when we did that horrible, I don't know how we did it.
I think we watched 4 hours worth of
4 hours. Like, we got to the end, and then he was like, you said something, you were just joking, you were like, yeah, that's just what happens after you watch 4 hours of Four Alarms Nog. And I was just like, we didn't watch. And then I looked at my phone and I saw the time. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
My goodness. But so they were like breaking down their best sketches, all right? And they were doing like little commentary.
That was crazy.
So stupid.
It was like their 10 best sketches.
Yeah.
And like very clear that they did not hang out.
Yeah.
Outside of the thing. And then they were like, I didn't find half their sketches all that funny.
Yeah.
And then they were just desperately trying to like create some sense of conviviality.
Yeah.
and in some sense of, yeah, that was funny, you know?
Do you know what it's like? It'd be like if you took a few hours of this podcast at random and just kind of played it for us and then tried to ask us what our opinion would be. Oof. But, all right, okay, I guess.
Yeah, but I feel like you and I talk when we're not doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't get that from them, I think that, yeah. But one of the things he said, they played it, and...
they have to say, they have the, what's the word? The conviviality of, like, the Mythbusters.
Yes, exactly. That professional kind of, yeah. But, like, the one that made me laugh was... they played like Getting into India sketch, which Paul Tylak plays a guy who interviews them to see if they can get into India, and they're like, yeah, you know when you eat the food in India and it's so bad and you just shit your pants. And that was like one of the stuff they're doing. And then, oh yeah, and Rishi Sunak, the Indian man who controls Britain, you're like, fuck me, really? You're doing this? So the two of them were there anyway, the two of the white guys, and then Paul Tylak. And then so when they introduced, after they played it, they were talking about it, and he's like, one of them goes, the one who wasn't in the sketch goes, yeah, sorry, it's probably in poor taste for me to play that Indian guy. And then, but he was just joking about like how he played Paul Tylak. And I was like, that was the only one I got a laugh out of.
Yeah. What was their number one?
What are you fucking asking me for? I mean, I don't remember. I remember there was one where it's like how all the things in your refrigerator talk.
There's so many other sketches are like...
What if chair talked to table and picture of James when he was a baby?
Yeah. Yeah, and the table would be like, how are you, bud?
Yeah.
Then the recorder ran out of battery and they had a break. After which they talked about an event they attended called This Is the Left, which was organized by The Ditch. Guests included Claire Daly, Catherine Connolly, Owen Jones and many more. The bulk of the conversation was about a panel featuring Social Democrats Gary Gannon, Sinn Féin's Mairéad Farrell and People Before Profits Paul Murphy. It's all on patreon.com/CelticLigers along with the rest of the back catalog. Be well.